I'm telling you, this is a once-in-a-career opportunity to wreck the status quo. We got to redesign the workplace, which will enable us emotionally and mentally to redesign the workflow. And then finally, it will enable us and motivate us to build a virtual talent bench and redesign the workforce. I consider it the heart and soul of winning. We've been talking about future of work since the 70s. Remember, it's first it was skylighting. I don't know if you remember this, but there used to be this idea that if you created skylighting, people would never leave your company because they don't want to work in the dark. There was that discussion. And then there's ergonomics. And then there was open office as an antidote to prairie dogs working in cube farms. But the point is, all of those discussions were tactical, really working around the idea of incremental productivity. But when we discuss remote work or distributed teams or work from anywhere, it is now a strategic conversation. It is about retention. It is about delivering the work and engagement. So I don't think we should even call this stuff the future of work anymore. This is the future of winning. 6% of people worked remote before 2019. 25% of people work remote today. But according to Upwork Economic Research, in 2025, 20% will still be working remote. And this is a telling figure. Because if the number's that high, what it means is if you don't embrace remote work, your replacement in the market will. Very few employees are actually hired to run a project or a program. Most projects and programs are run by the favor economy, the matrix, teamwork, depending on others with full-time jobs to do the knitting required to deliver the final thing. I want to talk about why the workflow is poorly designed for both our operations staff as well as the projects that we run and rely on. 2 out of 3 projects fail. Why? What happens is you start a project, you get your funding, you delegate a lot of work out of the room to other people with operational roles. You hope and you pray, and you miss your deadline. That's not how every organization does it. So what I recommend is a new canvas for doing project work. It's really simple. Take a project. A project has a deliverable, which is usually the business case for approval and funding, right? So when you have the deliverable, what do? You break it down in components, or as some people call it, taskify that deliverable. And you break the deliverable down into all the discrete tasks, and you go through a mental model just like the folks at CompuVision do, just like our clients at Flexera do. They say, task 1, Upwork it, automate it. Can't do either, find a team member. Task 2, task 3, task 4, and before you know it, you've eliminated the number one dependency in front of you of making your deadline, and that's someone to do the work. Because when you use this human cloud as part of the design process upstream at the beginning of the process, you know what you do? You dramatically improve your chance of success. The ultimate Rand redesign comes down to redesigning the workforce. Full-time first has been a mental model for 100 years. That's how we've thought about talent. That's why they call it talent acquisition. In fact, the word work was first used by Gaspar Gustave Coriolis, a 19th century mathematician scientist who was obsessed with billiards. And he used the word work to describe the force that was required to move a ball. Good work was used to describe getting the ball in the pocket. So why do we conflate workforce with full-time talent? It's nothing to do with that, is it? It's about what? The force to move the ball to a certain location. Researchers looked at 400 companies on the journey of digital. You know what they found out? The number one reason companies don't reach digital transformation goals is they don't have access to enough talent to stand up the thousands of projects involved, okay? They believe that if you're going to ensure access to the type of skill set you need to recognize on-demand talent markets as strategic, the heart of the digital transformation motion, not something that's tactical. Where the work is being done is changing. How the work is being done is changing. Every single person at your company may not agree on wrecking the status quo, but I think every single person at the company that you want to keep agrees that business success is a win for everyone, including our customers and our partners in the world.